Welcome to Psychology of the Daf. We are in Gemara Succah Daf Yudalad, and today we're going to talk about how words and the stories we tell ourselves shapes everything that we believe and feel. Now, the Gemara Noad Aleph is discussing a utensil called a pitchfork, but that leads into a side discussion that the Hebrew word pitchfork is asar, ayin taf resh, and there's also the biblical language used to describe Yitzchak's prayers that his wife become pregnant, as it's stated, Vayetar. Now, the Gemara compares the prayers of a tzaddik to a pitchfork, because just like the pitchfork completely overturns the grain, also the prayers of a tzaddik completely overturns his fate. Now, the Ben Ish Chai uses wordplay to show how literally fate is overturned by changing the word. And he gives a number of examples in Hebrew, where if you switch around the letters, the fate changes. So, pesha, sin, can change to shefa, divine flow. Nega, affliction, can change to oneg, pleasure. And negef, a plague, can, by switching the letters around, change to gefen, vine. In regard to Yitzchak, their fate was to be garush, to be driven away and separated because they were an infertile couple. But no, through their prayer, they achieved sarug, which is just switching the letters around, and sarug means to be intertwined, as having a child together would create a stronger bond between them. Why do these word plays matter? It's important to understand that to a mystic, words are not just words, but rather they're the building blocks for all that is. In fact, the Hebrew word for word is teva, which means box. It's a place to hold and store something, at the very least an idea. But theologically, it's much more than that. Marami Rutenberg talks about how one has to be so careful with the traditional Rosh Hashanah prayer, where we say, Zachrenu l'chaim. And he says over there, you can look it up in Tur or Chaim in Tuf Kuf Pei Beis, where you have to make sure that you say Lichaim with a shva. Chas Shalom, if you say it with more of a patach, Lachaim, which can mean Lo Chaim, not for life. Now, all this care might seem incomprehensible at first glance, but in truth, this is one of the many examples where psychology and mysticism express similar ideas, but in different words and terms. There's an intuitive truth to the idea that the words we use can build or destroy worlds. The first thing to notice is that we humans construct narratives about ourselves to act as anchors and points of reference. This exists on an individual and a societal cultural level. For example, you walk into a pizza shop to order one slice, spicy fries, and a Diet Coke. How do you know what to say? How can you tell when to assert yourself? You're part of the line to get onto. When the man behind the counter is making a good-natured joke, what the pizza is supposed to taste like, or even how to open those frustrating ketchup packages. There are hundreds of bits of data that would completely confound even a person of exceptional intelligence if they had to figure it out for the first time. Instead, your mind engages in the pizza store subroutine. If this is what happens when we order pizza, can you imagine the pre-existing internal narratives that go into intimate relationships? How we are supposed to interpret nuances, when we should be afraid, when we should allow ourselves to be vulnerable. This is an area where psychotherapy shines when used properly. It gives a person a chance to rethink, reprocess, and rewrite certain narratives. Consider how we think about ourselves. Are we brave heroes in our story? Are we lazy good-for-nothings? Are we on a quest to accomplish? Or are we hurtling toward a tragic fate? So much of what we do is based on an internal script and narrative that we have come to believe about ourselves. On a societal level, we have beliefs about personalities and behaviors. In Judaism, we have the rabbi teacher, the rebbitzin, the hidden tzaddik, the amoritz, the faithful simple tailor, the sensual greedy balabus, the overbearing balabusta, the long-suffering meek wife, and so many more. These are like little apps or subroutines that we unconsciously engage in when circumstances seem to indicate or activate them. Jung called them archetypes that reside in the collective unconscious. The point is that our narrative in words and internal descriptions are a reality. They're a way of organizing an overwhelming amount of chaotic data into manageable form. However, the shortcut which gains efficiency and function also causes a loss. The loss is seeing reality as it is. The loss causes us to sometimes be paranoid or believe unhelpful things about ourselves or behave in less adaptive and less functional ways in real time. Recognition of this Truly recognizing this, that we are built on words and our society is built on words, is fundamental. The great mystics and some of the great psychologists realize this as well.